2, 1, 0. All engine running.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucer. The Air Force interest in this problem has been due to our feeling of an obligation to identify and analyze to the best of our ability anything in the air that may have the possibility of threat.
Just before 9 o'clock this morning in New York, a passenger jet which had taken off from Boston slammed into the World Trade Center. Thick black smoke blotted out the Manhattan skyline.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Esoteric Roundtable podcast, and I am your host, Justin. I'm joined here with Ben. Ben, say hello.
What's up?
Ben, that's quite enough of that. If you're here to talk to you today about something very important. Ben, it's the end of the world.
Oh my God.
Have you heard?
Oh my God.
April 8th, dude, tomorrow, as we're recording this, and probably we'll update this, or upload this, the day of the end of the world to let people know.
I better start canning tomatoes right now.
Absolutely.
Start canning tomatoes. I got to buy all the milk, bread, and eggs from the grocery store.
Oh, and the toilet paper.
And all the toilet paper.
Remember the toilet paper.
Because in the afterlife, there's one thing I care about. It's wiping myself. Toilet paper.
Absolutely, dude.
And eating tomatoes.
Absolutely.
And eggs and milk and bread. I'm sorry, I'm done.
So if you guys didn't know, we got an eclipse coming through. Good old middle America. And apparently that means that it's the end of the world. Because the whole world is affected by what happens in middle of America. Oh, and I guess they're doing some other scary stuff with some red heifers. Ooh. So obviously, me and Ben are under the impression. Yeah, for real. Peter's like, yeah, that is fucked up, dude. What about it?
That's scary.
The red heifers are like, it is the end of the world for us, kind of.
Yeah.
You know?
So sorry for our vegan friends. Not really. I'm just.
Nah,
that's hard to say with a straight face.
So yeah, man, I thought today would be a good discussion to bring up some, like, how do I say this? I should restart that. The world is going to end like every year, right? I feel like once a year there is some event that comes through. And it's going to wipe out the world for some reason or another, whether it be a meteor or red heifers or the lotus bugs that are all fucking coming out at once, or locusts, whatever the fuck they are. There's always something, you know what I'm saying? It feels like humanity is always just looking somewhere for the end, I guess. Nobody wants to go to work tomorrow, so everybody's just super stoked about some sort of end of the world. Christians are just stoked that they get to go to heaven or their new Jerusalem or whatever, you know. Everyone else, I guess, has their own thing going on. But I thought today would be a good idea to bring up all the time, or at least not some of our most memorable times. Some of the times that me and Ben think should make the list, you know. Kind of a top 10, probably won't be exactly 10. But, the most trusted source in all of information, Wikipedia, has a pretty good list of all the times that the world was going to end. So we decided to pick some of these off of here, kind of riff off of those, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have one. If you want me to lead off here, I have one that I had forgotten about. And then I just happened to look past it. And was like, I watched a documentary about this.
Let's dive in. Is it on the list?
It's on the list.
All right, let's get right back in there then.
So March 26th of 1997. Very specific day here.
97.
Some of you may be familiar with the Heaven's Gate cult.
Oh, shit.
The Heaven's Gate cult. So a man by the name of Marshall Applewhite was the leader of this cult. the Heaven's Gate cult, and he claimed that a spacecraft was trailing the comet Hale-Bopp, and argued that suicide was the only way to evacuate this Earth, so that the cult members' souls could board the supposed craft and be taken to another level of existence above human. Applewhite and 38
brother,
of his followers committed mass
I don't even
suicide.
think that's the highest number on this list, unfortunately.
Not that it was the number, bro, but this
I mean, that's a lot. That is a
convinced
lot.
38 additional people other than himself that a spacecraft was trailing a comet, and that if you committed suicide, you'd be able to board this interstellar spacecraft.
Like your soul, like it would just intercept your soul or some shit on the way up.
Bro, I don't even want to say natural selection, but
kind of.
Dude, 39 individuals in total. So the world would end if you didn't commit suicide. I wasn't even born in 97. I was born post that. So, I mean, I bet he feels really dumb on his spacecraft right now.
Speaking of feeling really dumb, here's one right above that. I thought this was funny. Harold Camping. He's under the category of 1994, September 6th, September 29th, and October 2nd. It says Camping predicted the rapture would occur on September 6, 1994. When it failed to occur, he revised the date to the 29th of September, and then the 2nd of October, and then next year, Harold Camping again, 1995, Camping's fourth prediction for the end. This would be Camping's last prediction until 2011. More Harold? Hold on, I gotta go, dude. There he is, here he is, October 21st. When his original prediction failed to come about, Camping revised his prediction and said that on May 21st, a spiritual judgment took place, and that both the physical rapture and the end of the world would occur on 21st of October, 2011. Damn it, Harold. You got it wrong again.
That's hilarious, man. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to keep throwing these out there.
Yeah,
and one day, if I have a prediction for every day of my life, if I just predict every date for the next 2,000 years, perhaps I'll be right.
I gotta be right eventually.
And then if I'm dead and gone, they can say, Harold did it. Harold said it was going to happen on this date. Disregard the other 3,000 days he got wrong. But this day, he was right.
Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. That is where Crowley was in, I'm pretty sure. The Aleister Crowley, you know. Fucking piece of shit. But you gotta respect it, how much information that we have because of him. But they said in 2010 the world was going to end. Didn't fucking happen. Let's see. Let's skip to 1658, Ben, if you will.
Let me scroll up on this list.
Let's scroll up on this list that we put together ourselves.
Oh, the man himself.
The man himself. Would you like to read it off?
Mr. Ocean Blue. Yes, I will. Christopher Columbus in 1656. And 1658. I was on the wrong one. In 1656, Christopher Columbus, in his book of prophecies, which was published in the year of our Lord 1501, Columbus predicted that the world would end during this year. 1658. Let's skip down 2 more years. Christopher Columbus again claimed that the world was created in the year 5343 BCE and would last 7,000 years. Assuming no year 0, that means the world would come to end in 1658. So if there was no year 0, it would be 1658.
I'm gonna have to read up on Mr. Columbus's book of prophecies. I've never heard of that.
Didn't know that existed.
That sounds crazy. Oh, here's another one on 1666. Ooh. Following his failed prediction of 1648, Zevi recalculated the end of the Earth for this year, whoever Zevi is. Let's see. On 1666, also the fifth monarchist, the presence of 666 in the date, the death of 100,000 Londoners to bubonic plague, and the Great Fire of London led to superstitious fears of the end of the world for some Christians.
So here's my deal.
It wasn't the end.
They were obviously wrong. One of them, this Zevi person, had failed. So he was like, I'm going to cop it. I'm going to go to the most evil looking year I can find. 1666. Because it has 666 in there. Mark of the Beast. Ooh. Obviously, the fifth monarchist had the same thing. That was like, oh, 666. Oh my God. The bubonic plague. Right. Which, by the way, is eerily reminiscent of the more recent plague.
Yeah, I know what you're meaning. We can
the more recent plague,
we'll call that
4 years ago, and apparently still today in some places. I can see why there's hype around this solar eclipse coming tomorrow. You had the bubonic plague back then. Everyone's like, this has to be it. It's wrapping up right now.
Yeah,
people are dying.
Conveniently, by the way, there's a big election coming up this year. If anybody remembers that. How they happen to like push fucking fear porn every fucking 4 years on the dot.
What happened in 2020?
It's getting
2020. Now it's 2024. I forgot what happened in 2016.
You know what, guys? I think in 1969, I think they were right. I think they were right in 1969. I think they were right. I'll tell you why, Ben. Because in 1969, Charles Manson predicted that Helter Skelter would happen. The apocalyptic race war. The apocalyptic... Okay. I'm trying not to laugh, Ben. The apocalyptic race war. All right. It didn't happen. Lo and behold. What about 1967 here? Jim Jones, founder of the People's Temple, stated he had visions that a nuclear holocaust was set to take place in 1967.
That's another mass suicide.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Not quite as out there as Heaven's Gate. But with Jim
Jones,
result. The same result. And I think there were more.
Yeah.
Let me see. How many people died in the Jonestown? I'm looking that up.
I think there was a lot more... Excuse me, if I'm not mistaken, there was kind of some forced...
Bro, 909 individuals.
I think they were kind of like forcing people to take the Kool-Aid, you know.
I think it was a mix of both. It had to have been, because I'm sure, dude, in any group there were some radicalists who were like, oh, yes, I'll follow you anyway.
Oh, here we go.
Let's go, Jim Jones.
Here's your favorites, Ben. Let's get down to 1999, my man. Let's talk about Nostradamus, which my brother pointed out to me. Shout out Jim. He used to be on the podcast. Shout the fuck out. He pointed something out to me that really made me laugh. We were hanging out at work one day, and Nostradamus' first name is Michael, and for some reason that shit just cracks me up, dude.
Dude, I never knew that.
That shit cracks me up. I mean, Michael is an old name because of the Bible or whatever. Michael and Nostradamus just really don't fit together. It is spelled out like Michael or whatever. Anyway, off topic. Let's see what Nostradamus has to say. A quatrain by Nostradamus, which stated the King of Terror would come from the sky in 1999 and 7 months, was frequently interpreted as a prediction of doomsday in July 1999. Didn't happen.
Sorry, I got strangled on water in the middle of your sentence there, dude.
He was all fucking waterboarding yourself.
Over here, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was over here,
what else
I was about to go out. End of the world wouldn't have mattered for me in a second.
Obviously, the whole Y2K, where the computers weren't going to be able to turn from nines to zeros somehow.
Nines. Yeah, Y2K is my favorite. Y2K is the most hilarious thing. I was telling Justin right before this episode started, I was like, people, the media, and Christian writers, like, what is his name? I cannot find it. Oh, Jerry B. Jenkins.
Jerry B. Jenkins.
If you aren't familiar with Jerry B. Jenkins, maybe you're familiar with some of his book writing and potentially a very popular film, a book series known as the Left Behind series. And there was even a Left Behind movie, which, by the way, was nothing more than a fear-mongering tactic of movies.
100%.
A movie book series. It's, oh my God, what if I'm left behind?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then, but the theme behind this is it is all fear-mongering.
100%.
It's all to get you afraid. What if
That's the point that we're trying to bring across here. We're not like, well, we are going to all these people pointing the finger and calling them idiots, but we're doing it in a way to show that like this shit has happened before, because there are people who are genuinely getting scared by this, and I mean, you almost can't blame them because it's just being pushed so hard in things like social media. You know what I'm saying? And that's where people spend their time these days, unfortunately, like it or not,
And man, to be openly transparent, like to be completely transparent, there are times where I catch myself like, oh my God, what if? And
yeah, 100%. That's another I for a second. Even me, that's why I was like, I don't know, the red heifers, they're doing this is a lot.
Yeah.
And you know what? Shout out to Esoteric Eddie, man. I was watching his video at work. I was listening to it while I was working, and he started off his video like naming all the things and blah blah blah, and gets you all hyped up. And at the end, he kind of just like slaps you across the face with reality. He's like, guys, shut up. We're gonna go back to work on April 9th. You're gonna wake up. The fucking power is gonna be on. It's not gonna be Y2K all over again. The red heifers, whatever, gonna be some nice steaks. Everything's gonna be fine. It doesn't fucking matter. It's not the end of the world.
The difference in this one, and this is where I'll get it, because man, it's not very often, at least not from the previous episodes where we talk about current events like this. This is probably our most, I guess you would call it, current event episode that we've done to date.
For sure.
We know there are some crazy things happening right now. For people who are, the difference with this one for me, people who aren't just like non-Christians or don't hold a belief or agnostic, I guess, in nature, or atheists, are afraid of this because, one, we see the media, social media, independent media, mass media is all pushing this narrative. Oh, this eclipse. Oh my God, they're pushing Israel and Palestine. And I'm not stating any kind of siding here. I'm just saying that's what we're seeing a lot of. Israel, Palestine, Israel, Palestine. And then we see there's a solar eclipse. Israel is planning to sacrifice this red heifer calf that signifies for Christians end time prophecies in the book of Revelations. I can see why both atheists, agnostics, Christians, all alike can agree, hey, this could be a little, scary.
I think it's not so much like we're looking at as, I say it's still subconsciously sometimes I find myself categorizing myself in the atheist category, and then sometimes I'll find myself categorizing, I fucked that word up twice, that's good, categorizing myself in the Christian category, which is weird, but I really don't stand in any place, but I think it's more so people on the outside of the religious box, they see it as these fucking people and their books. They're LARPing so hard that they're about to destroy the world, dude. You know what I'm saying? And then from the religious standpoint, they're still about to destroy the world. I can't see it. They're fighting over a rock. They're about to the temple. There's some temple on a rock that they want to destroy so they can build the third temple, and then but if they try to do that,
they're planning on trying to rebuild Solomon's temple,
right?
And the temple they're tearing down now, I believe, would be an Islamic temple, if I'm not mistaken. And it's in Jerusalem or something of that nature. But
dude,
according to
we're fighting
the Jewish
over fucking rocks and where we're building shit, and it's this is fucking I can't imagine.
It is
because my personal views is still that we're all talking about the same person, the same entity, the same creator, the same thing, like the quote unquote Tower of Babel, whether it be metaphor or a real event, whatever. I think more allegorical where something happened where we're not seeing it all as the same thing for some reason, but it is the same thing. So the fact that we're all just arguing over the same thing to the point where we're going to be slaughtering each other and fighting over a fucking rock because it's facing the sun or it's just like, what are we doing, man? There is no way when people were writing these words down and trying to spread the message of peace and this is what I want my religion so we can stick together and blah, blah, blah. They were not looking, at least I hope, looking thousands of years in the future, being like, man, I really hope they behead people over a fucking rock because it's facing another rock or something, you know?
Now, one thing I will say here, I will say this, and this is not even Christianity. Not even Christianity. Religious, yes. Because if you look at the conflict between this whole red heifer calf, the temple thing, it's not even involving Christians. It's Jewish people and then Islamic people. You have, if you're not a Christian, but you believe in some biblical stories, the conflict that's happening now between Israel and Palestine has taken place since the days of David and Goliath.
Long fucking time. And that's another reason.
David and Goliath.
That's another reason to be like, then this one other skirmish probably isn't the last skirmish. You know what I'm saying? They're probably just beefing again for the billionth time.
Yeah. And what I'll say, man, is regarding this one is like, 2012 had some people freaked out and stuff like that, which we're going to get to 2012 later.
Yep.
We're going to 2012 later. And they made movies about it. They made the Buzz movie for Christians, the Left Behind series, the Buzz books for Christians, the Fearmonger book and the Fearmongering movie for Christians.
Yeah.
And then the Fearmongering movie for everybody.
2012, yeah.
This one, and this is why I can't understand why this. I still have yet to kind of figure out as to why the red heifer calf and this eclipse that's coming tomorrow or on April 8th really tie in together. They're somehow getting tied in together. I don't know if that's when they're planning. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just know it's kind of being talked about in the same group of conversation.
Yeah, man.
But we had a solar eclipse in 2017. We had a solar eclipse in 2017.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what is the world ended in 2017, you said?
We had a solar eclipse in 2017.
The world ended in 2017.
Our president at the time was pretty well known for, there was like, oh, wear goggles. And then you had the clip of Donald and Melania, and Donald's just up there just looking straight at it.
My pupils will get huge, but they won't absorb any sunlight. I won't tell them.
You're just sitting there staring at it. So I'll
get us a better deal.
Of a solar eclipse. It cracks me up thinking of a solar eclipse because I could just always visit that moment. All
right. So before we're done shitting on people, I got a few more things I want to do. Because Ben said we were going to go to 2012. We were going to go to 2012. Let's see.
And I hope I didn't go off too much on a tangent there.
I don't think so, man. I think I went off on the biggest tangent personally. Let's see. We got here the 2012 phenomenon. Yep. Phenomenon predicted the world would end at the end of the 13th Bacton. The Earth would be destroyed by an asteroid, Nibiru. Yeah, that sounds right. Or some other interplanetary object, an alien invasion, or a supernova. Mayan scholars stated that no extant classic Maya accounts forecasted impending doom, and that the idea that the long count calendar ends in 2012 misrepresented Maya history and culture. Scientists, well, fuck, dude, they're saying it was wrong. What? What?
We just spent millions of dollars making a movie.
What I wrote
to
down
scare
1836.
people.
Let's see what I wrote down. 1836. Maybe 1836 was right, Ben. Maybe he had the right idea in 1836.
I'll tell you right now, man. I remember vividly. My parents. I grew up in a household where we watched the world news every night at 6 o'clock. We watched the local news at 5 o'clock. World news at 6, and then the evening news at 9.
Damn.
The nighttime news. We watched Good Morning America. We watched all of it. We stayed current. I remember on what day was this? December 21st of 2012, sitting in front of my TV when they claimed it was supposed to happen. The minute it was supposed to happen, ABC had news reporters standing outside in New York City with their broadcasting live as the world was supposed to end. And I remember sitting there like, because I was young at the time, I was like, man, what if it really happens? Like, they're just going to be showing this on live TV.
I was in fifth grade
happened.
because I remember asking my fifth grade teacher what was going to happen when the world ended. And she, like, got really emotional. And she was,
and I was also
which I kind of get it, because she was kind of asking the same thing that we're asking right now. Like, why are we fucking fear pushing so hard? She was like, dude, nothing's going to happen. You don't have anything to worry about. Everything's okay. So, yeah. This shit has been going on for a long time. But this guy, I think he was right. I think this guy was right. In 1836, the founder of the Methodist Church, which, by the way, Ben,
you have
when I was a kid, I was baptized in a Methodist church.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm pretty sure my dad was just seeing some chick that was Methodist. And he was like, fucking, I'll dunk him. I don't care, you know? Let's see. He foresaw the millennium beginning this year. He wrote that Revelations 12:14 referred to 1058 to 1836 when Christ should come. Ben, was he right? Was Christ here? That's kind of your guy. Christ is kind of your homie, right?
Yeah, man. He's my homie, bro, but I won't say that people didn't, like, have some wild... I'm not Methodist, so...
Oh, yeah? Well, how about this one? In 1862, originally an English convert to Mormonism, Morris had revelations to gather his followers and wait for the second coming through successive prophesized days. Ben, did the second coming happen?
No, dude.
That's kind of your guy, dude.
You know, one thing, I will say this. I was telling Justin, you know, if you read the Bible, even for Christians or non-Christians, the Bible for Christians, here's the thing I have to say for Christians, if you're Christian and you're watching this. If you are saved, what does it matter when the world ends? Second, the Bible very explicitly says, no man knows the day nor the hour. So that's why I've always been like, man, you know, nobody knows when the world's ending. Why are we spending all this time worrying about the world ending?
Why are you saying nobody knows when the world is ending? Because Grigory Rasputin said that in 2013 the world was going to end.
Yeah, dude.
He sounded like he knew.
Going back to it, man, it's just, you have these people that are always claiming, I've always found it silly to be fearful of this. It's like, man, we can't control it if it does happen. What's the point of being scared about it?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the fear of death.
Yeah.
Which I'm super guilty of. I'm unfortunately really guilty of. I've had always fucking piercing on my mind. It's probably when I was like 7 or 8, my uncle passed away. Ever since then, I'm like, that sounds like it fucking sucks, dude. So I mean, I get it to that extent. I guess I've just gotten a little bit better about it. So now I can be like, dumbasses, you guys think about dying? Yeah. According to the Talmud, the Messiah will come in 2239. What about in 2280? This one sounds true. According to this Egyptian his name is Rashad Khalifa. I fuck with anybody named Khalifa, but you know, I'm talking about Wiz, Ben. Get your head out of the gutters, dude. According to this Egyptian American biochemist, research on the Quran, the world will end during 2280. Everyone. So if you believe in the Quran, then I would be pretty spooked in the year 2280. Ben, I think, do you have anything else that you want to touch up on before we start getting our ending sentiments in here?
Yeah, man, the deal is I've lived through, well, this would be my third end of the world, really popular end of the world phenomenon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at the same time, it always perplexes me at how ridiculous it is. if it does happen, there's nothing any of us can do to stop it.
Well,
But-
except me, but yeah.
I don't believe it's going to.
None
And
of you guys
second
can stop
is if you're truly fearful, of all of this taking place, there's some really good advice for you. Take your phones, shut them off.
Shut them off.
Take your television, turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Take your radios, which I don't know who still listens to that. Which
Boomers.
hopefully you listen to us on a podcast. Don't turn off this podcast.
Yeah,
Turn
actually,
off
that's
your
what
cell
you do.
phones.
Take all electronics, turn it on the Esoteric Roundtable podcast,
Yes.
and turn everything else off. Mute all
And if you're not listening to
notifications.
us, turn it off. And just have dinner with your family. Live life. Like Justin said, another day is going to come. We'll go back to work. And if the world does end tomorrow, I'm going to be at work anyway.
Yeah.
And sweet relief, I guess.
Yeah, can
So-
you do it before I clock in?
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead, Justin. I had nothing important to say. I did have something to say beforehand. I forgot what it was. And I
My
can't
bad,
think
bro.
of it.
My bad. I'm all fucking.
No, it's
you up and
okay.
shit, dude.
You ain't mess on me, man. You go ahead and
All right,
make
let's
your
go ahead
statement.
and do that. No, I think I just wanted to bring up, our uploading as of the past, 12, 13 episodes, however many episodes we have out. We're pretty inconsistent. That's something that we were putting a lot of pressure on ourselves when we first started, and to be honest, I think that was kind of the trigger that we pulled on Jim on Jim deciding that he didn't really have the time and stuff to do it, which I completely understand. He takes his family really seriously, which we really appreciate. But when you put so much pressure on yourself to I have to record on this day and blah blah blah, it's a lot, you know what I'm saying? And we all have shit going on. I have a wife and 2 kids. Ben's got a wife and he's got his thing going on, and they starting their shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's full-time jobs, we don't have a lot of time to just sit down and do this as much as we would like to. I can't say that I'm super good about picking and choosing, I probably spend a little bit too much time playing shit like Dead by Daylight and shit, instead of writing on episodes. So I won't sit here and fucking beg for a pity party or something. But what I'd like to say is that we hope you guys will still watch, I guess every YouTube video or even podcaster you listen to, when they give suggestions, they're like, you need to be consistent. But to be honest, man, I personally enjoy hanging out with my kids. And if I want to fucking roll around on the floor with my 1-year-old, then I'm going to do that instead of writing an episode. And
if I want to fly to Texas.
Yeah,
and
Ben
have a
was just
week-long
in Texas,
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun having Mark on the show last week. Last episode, definitely not last week. A lot of fun, and it was kind of, it felt like I wish we could have uploaded sooner after that, but had to remind ourselves that we are doing this for fun.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter because the world's ending tomorrow anyways. Right? So
Yeah,
Ben,
sweet
you got
dreams.
anything else you want to throw in there, brother man?
Yeah, man. So, in the vein of what Justin was just saying, while we haven't been extremely consistent with our upload schedule, just know that if you don't hear from us in a while, you will soon enough. We will upload. We will get back together. We have not had anybody say anything about our upload consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
This is strictly from the mind of me and Justin.
This is
But we
just
hold
us
ourselves
like, fuck,
accountable.
I can't believe we haven't done this, blah, blah, blah. It's the pressure we put on ourselves because we do consider this like a passion product. It is something that we're really into, but we got other shit going on too, bro,
So if you are one of our passionate listeners, and you do think this in the back of your mind and you haven't spoke up yet, just know that we are our biggest critics.
Hey, and if you need to let us know, bro, let us know. Maybe that'll fucking light a fire under this, Maybe we'll start, if we get enough people bitching, maybe we'll be like, well, Ben, I guess I just won't hug my children and eat dinner with my family. I'll just read the fucking Talmud and write an episode on it.
Yeah. And if you have something interesting enough, run it by us via email at
Yes.
what is it, Justin? What's our email address?
Esoteric roundtablepod@gmail.com. And
That's
if
right.
it's wrong, then I'll cut in over myself and say it correctly.
I'm pretty sure that's correct. But if you have something interesting you would like to talk about, don't be scared. Reach out to us. If we
Yes,
think it's
please.
lame, we will not respond. But if it's
Dude,
good,
yeah, if it's lame, you're coming on the show, dude. It's your
Yeah.
ass. I mean, if you want to embarrass
Yeah.
yourself, come on.
yeah. But if it's good enough, I mean, and you have something that's really interesting, if you have the same passion we do, we'd love to have somebody on to talk
Yeah.
about some esoteric knowledge.
Absolutely.
some-
I know I have a couple episodes in the work right now that I think are going to be super fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
It's just going to take me a while to get these things flattened out and everything. We just wanted to hop on here, kind of give an update on how we're doing and kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
Because me and Ben have been kind of pointing and laughing from the corner at all these people freaking out about the end of the world. So
Yeah.
just a little bit to get off our chest. But I think we should probably go ahead and wrap it up before we fucking get on to Yap City any longer. You know what I'm saying? These poor fucking
Yeah.
people, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the Esoteric Roundtable. Like we said, please check back on us, in a couple weeks, maybe. And if we haven't uploaded then wait a week. All right? Fuck. We'll be back.
We'll be back.
And please remember to keep an open mind. Peace out.